So it supports people who live in the local area who don't have enough money to support themselves with food, and people who can't afford to feed their kids and stuff like that. So it's mainly local people.
If you just received this gift of something you haven't received before, I mean, as a present, it's going to mean a lot to you, isn't it?
You just go on to, I'm guessing, their website and order what you want, and then the delivery drivers will bring your groceries to you and take necessary precautions when ordering.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Brightening Barrow. Today's episode we're going to be looking at the Harvest Festival and Morrison's new code of deliveries. So, the Harvest Festival. Tell us more, what do you know? What do you think about it?
Well, it's a celebration of the harvest and all of the fruits and vegetables that we get to enjoy in the winter.
So, is it important then? Is it something that's important, sort of, not only in our local area, but in general? Is it an important thing? Is it something that we should be proud of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's farmers who work all year to create crops for us to eat, and we need to celebrate them.
So not only a celebration. Yeah, so not only a celebration of the food, but of the people who produce the food then as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that it's a celebration of the food for the winter. But why specifically the winter? Why is it now? What can we be doing with this food? What's so important about food during the winter times?
Well, you can give it to people who need food by donating to a food bank to help people who cannot afford to buy food and who need extra help. And that number of people who need the food has gone up a lot since the start of lockdown, because people can't go to work anymore and people have lost their jobs, and people need help now more than ever. So it's a really good time to be donating food to the food bank.
Okay, so I'm sure all of you listening and watching know of the food bank. You've probably all heard of it. Some of it's heavily involved in the schools, but we might as well talk about it. So, what is a food bank? What happens? What sort of food does it deal with?
Well, it's canned food, isn't it? Canned food and food that can be preserved, like peas and beans. Canned, I don't know, potato. Can you can a potato?
Yes.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
but canned food.
Just can everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, canned things that can be preserved, as I said, so that they can stay in the food bank for a long time, and then people can obviously get them and eat them.
Yes, so obviously more and more people have needed the food bank, but is it just the developing nations? Because obviously we think of them much more when it comes to sort of aid with food or water or shelter or anything like that. So is it just them that the food bank help with, or is it well, who is it? Who do the food bank help?
So it supports people who live in the local area who don't have enough money to support themselves with food, and people who can't afford to feed their kids and stuff like that. So it's mainly local people.
So it's the community helping the community then?
Yeah. And harvest is a great time to donate because there's a lot more fresh food coming in to all the shops.
Yes, especially during these winter times when it's going to become a lot more difficult because of the weather and also because of the pandemic. I mean, people are getting colds anyway. People are just generally more vulnerable to viruses. So the more you can donate, the more you can help. It's going to do the world of good.
So there are many ways that you can help with your local food bank. You can volunteer. There's you can give money to wherever the food bank is, so they can buy supplies for said food bank. Make donations, obviously. There are a lot of things that at the moment we can't actually do. So after certain lockdowns, you can host something called a pantry donation party.
What's that then? What's the pantry donation?
I think that's just where everybody kind of comes together with things in your cupboards, I'm guessing.
So it's sort of you're allowed to, if you've been in a local area, you can get all your food together, because obviously people are going to be struggling if you can't get out.
A big mass donation.
So yeah. You may disagree with me, but I'd say probably donating is the main way that people tend to help. I mean, obviously there's the other ways, but the vast majority of people will donate. So where are our local food bank donations, just sort of in the Furness area?
Right, location. So the Barrow Food Bank, the locations are Abbey Road, the Baptist Church there. I know there's one at Walney School. I know there's one there.
I think most schools have them, don't they?
I don't know.
Well, my schools did, so I think pretty much every school will have that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think most schools, most churches will do donations to the food bank. So they're probably the easiest places. You can always look around. I'm sure plenty of people know where the closest food bank donation drop-off point is to you. I think some supermarkets do them as well. Is that right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So if you're not sure, check your local supermarket. That's probably right. So we've talked about the food bank and how that's a great way to help people. But if you were here for the last episode, you'll remember that we mentioned about the shoe boxes, which is also another brilliant way to help specifically children with the shoe boxes. That's another way to help people in a developing country. Because I mean, if you just receive this gift of stuff that you haven't received before, I mean, as a present officer, it's going to mean a lot to you, isn't it?
Yeah. And it contains a lot of items that would be useful to people who live in developing nations, because it has like scarves and hats and gloves and stuff, and you can send sweets for the children and toys and stuff that they might not have at home, and it's very good for them to have.
Brightening their day.
Yes.
You said that there's a variety of items. Well, there really is, because you mentioned that there's clothes and there's toys and things like that, but there's a huge variety. Like you've got clothes, because everyone needs clothes. That's just something we all need. So giving clothes, that's really good. It helps cover them and protect them from the elements and things like that. But there's also toys, because as I said, these are for children, and enjoying yourself and having fun is really, really important for a child. But there's also school supplies that you put in there, because if you go to some of these places, you don't always get provided with all of these. And I mean, if you're listening it and you're in school, you might not think it, but education really is important. And if you can't get it, or you struggle to get it, having the ability to go and get a good educate, well, any education is going to be really, really beneficial for you. So I think we briefly talked about this in the last episode, but we might as well mention it again. Where can you go? We've talked about where you can go for food banks, but where can you go to drop off these shoe boxes? How do you do these shoe boxes then?
Well, you need to go online, or if you go to a school or probably a church, they'll give you sort of like a leaflet, and you need to get one of the stickers that tells you whether it's for a boy or a girl, and then you can put all the stuff that you want to put in a shoebox that you probably just have in your house somewhere, and then put the sticker on the box, and then you can drop it off. I think schools do that again. It's mainly the same places, schools and churches do them, and yeah, so you just drop it off there with the sticker on, and then it gets sent off, and yeah, gets to a child.
Do you know what happens when it gets out there? Like, do you know anyone that's been and helped?
Well, I think a group of guide leaders go. Most years my guide leader went, and yeah, they go on a plane and drop them off and give them to the kids. We got to watch. She took a lot of pictures and showed them to us, and it was really nice. All the kids being really happy with the little shoe boxes.
So this pandemic has affected the world, and up and down, not the country. There's people self-isolating. So what sort of measures have been put in place to help them through the self-isolation? So, because I mean, getting things like food must be really difficult.
Well, Morrison's are doing a coronavirus delivery service.
All right. So how does this work then?
So when it is time to get your shopping in, you just go on to, I'm guessing, their website and order what you want. And then the delivery drivers will bring your groceries to you and take necessary precautions when ordering, such as leaving your things on your doorstep and then contacting you via your phone to say that your stuff is outside.
And I think they're saying that you should probably, because they're on very limited delivery slots at the minute with when your deliveries can be delivered, because there's so many people try to get things delivered to the houses. So they're saying it's a really good idea to order, to decide when you want it delivered, to get a slot before you actually order your food. But you've got to make sure that you do it within the hour after you've said when you want it delivered, because otherwise your order will be cancelled. So if you go on the website and then say, I want it delivered at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning or whatever, and then within the next hour, order your food, check out, pay for it and everything, and then it'll be delivered when you want it to be delivered, because there's very limited delivery slots.
Where is this scheme in place then?
Well, it's in most places in the UK. So if you want to check whether it's in your area, you just go on the Morrison's website and go to groceries, and then it'll ask you to put in your postcode, and you can put in your postcode, and then it'll check whether they do the service in your area. You don't have to put any details in or anything. It's the first thing that comes up, so it's very easy to check.
But chances are it'll be in your area, but it's still best to check. We now move to the section of the episode where we aim to brighten your day by looking at some good news stories. Tyeisha, do you want to start us off?
A week-long webinar fair aimed at young people with special educational needs and disabilities has come to an end. The finale was a film called One Size Does Not Fit All, which was created by young people with SEND and emphasises the need to see people as individuals particularly when transitioning into adulthood.
Evan Carroll was recently announced as the winner to the University of Cumbria's Reading During the Lockdown competition. Entrants had to write a 1,000-word review of a book they had read during the lockdown, including reasons why it helped them get through the tough time. The university hopes to inspire youth to join university.
The new Burger King that will be in place of the former Frank and Benny's has been started, the construction. That has been started. And this will provide 15 full-time jobs with an added 10 part-time jobs.
The Cumbria COVID-19 Response Fund, which was launched on the 17th of March, has sent just over £1.5 million worth of grants to 165 organisations across Cumbria. This has helped 58,000 people, more than 10% of the county's population.
10-year-old Heather Dent from Ulverston has won a national competition which involved creating a memorial, which will be installed at the National Memorial Arboretum next year.
The West End show Kinky Boots will play at the Forum Theatre in Barrow on October 16th. The show is filmed live at the Adelphi Theatre in the heart of London's West End, and it will be showed live in the Forum. Social distancing measures have been put in place, with tables holding 6 people from a maximum of 2 households. And that's it. That's our good news stories. So as promised, at the end, we have a bit of a surprise. So hopefully in a month or two, we will have a website up and running where you can find it easier to communicate to us. You can look through the different platforms that we post on, and we'll be updating you on what we're doing, guests on our different weeks. So that's something to look forward to. As always, get in touch with us if you have something you want to talk to us about, a good news story. If you want us to talk to someone as a guest, let us know, and we'll be happy to try and get in touch with you.
Thank you for watching episode 5 of Brightening Barrow, where we aim to help Brightening Barrow one stream at a time.
Yeah, but it's like in a weird place, I don't know.
Do you have a link?
morrisons.com/help/online-shopping-coronavirus/.
Oh Christ. Morrisons.
Just put it in the chat.
Can we put the link in the chat?
Yep.
That'll probably be best, yeah.
Right, hang on.
Content. Performer.
Oh, fascinating.
And it's people who live in the local area.
Sorry.
I was just rambling, I don't know what I'm saying. Hang on, I'll start again, hang on.
Social distancing measures are in place, with tables holding 6 people from the max. Okay. What?
You weren't in the shop.
Which bit? Ah.
The whole last part.
From where? Just
I know, but I just
speak.
don't have them in general. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, there we go. Right. My God, man.
So in this part of the episode, we do counting.
So you got me, Maisie, Iwan. Can't do that because we're all in there. So it would go Iwan.
It really just doesn't matter.
Me. Amazing.
Hand signals is another episode.
You. I can't do it. You and everyone. Right.
Well done, you pointed at me. Okay.
Is you in it?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Woo.
Are you that one?
Yes, I'm that one. Yes. Stop poking me.
It's all you get. I don't know what I'm saying.
What? She's gone. We've lost her. She's going to have a problem. Don't start giggling because I'm going to start.
Oh dear. How does that work then? Where does it operate? How does that work then?
5-8.
Yes.
I'd say you've done it.
Brightening Barrow at 1 stream next time. Ooh!
First
Yay!
try.